One of the top players in the NBA has sent a message towards, Clippers superstar Kawhi Leonard. And, in me saying this, before I preface this, I definitely appreciate things like this because, regardless of NBA players going at it head to head, back and forth, talking amongst each other, between each other, all those things, it's a brotherhood before anything. And, respecting another guy or another player, through what they do, and just respecting the fact of, who they are and what they bring to the game is always a good, well reception to get. And, Kevin Durant is the player that right now, Kevin Durant is one of the hottest players in the NBA because if you think about it, what he's doing is awesome. History has been, is being remade again watching him because the first 13 games of this season, Kevin Durant has scored 25 plus points each of the 13 games of the season. As I spoke about in a previous video, Kevin Durant is the only player to do that since the GOAT, Michael Jordan. And that says a lot about how great Kevin Durant is. It says a lot about, how much he's worked to get his game to a certain level to where not many can get their game at. And, on the flip side of that, one of the players that's pretty close to his level, maybe not in regards to style of play, or maybe not how it's done, but in regards to his level, in regards to superstar status, is Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard has, the same amount of championships that Kevin Durant has. And Kawhi Leonard is, very accomplished, very well decorated as a player also, especially coming into this league as a defensive guy, not even being able to score. Now he's turned himself into a 27, 28 point scorer on any given night basis when he's healthy. And, I love the message that, Kevin Durant sent towards Kawhi, because if a lot of people don't remember, in the finals in 2019 when the Toronto Raptors won the championship, when Kevin Durant was hurt, Kawhi sent a message out to KD in regards to, his injury, and Achilles injury, I think is what he had at the time. And I think KD was out for almost a year or two, because of that. And, the message he basically sent to him was keep your head up, stay well. And, I know he'll get through it, in so many words. And, in so many words, it's like Kevin Durant returned the favor here on clutchpoints.com. And I was also looking on YouTube, a video after a post game where he spoke on Kawhi Leonard after I believe they played the Clippers. And he said he loves seeing Kawhi out there. He wants to see Kawhi out there playing. Kawhi is an all-time great player. He's been through injuries before. He knows his body better than anybody else. He'll make the right decision, in so many words. And, he can't wait to see him back out there, playing at a high level, because he's one of the great players, and that's really, really high respect, salute coming from somebody like Kevin Durant, because it just shows the maturation of Kevin Durant, but it also shows the greatness of Kawhi Leonard and where he really evolved to, over these years of, being in the NBA since he started. And because I can remember some years ago, which a lot of people might not remember, where Kevin Durant spoke on, Kawhi Leonard, and saying back in the day, years ago, that Kawhi Leonard was a system player. And, from the words of him saying something like that 8-10 years ago, it's amazing how it's changed over time because of how Kawhi Leonard rewrote his own script. He basically was a defensive guy coming into the league, wasn't able to score like that, and give you about 17 points a game, give or take on average. And he was all defense. I mean, granted, he was meddlesome defensively. I mean, his defense was so good. I mean, honestly, you could look at some highlights of Kawhi Leonard, and his defensive highlights got just about as much views as his offensive highlights, because he's that good on both sides of the floor when he decides to actually snap back into that claw that he is defensively and starts disrupting a game and disrupting everything that the other team, the opposing team, is trying to do. And see, he still has that in him, even though he's able to score more points now. But of course, a little bit of that goes away when you focus more on offense, and that just rightfully so. That's just how it goes. It really doesn't go any other way except that way. And that's the way to look at it, because you have to sacrifice one for the other. You can't do both at a supremely high level for a long period of time. You could do it for a stretch of your career, but not, a long period of time of your career. It doesn't happen too often. Maybe one of the rare players, of course, who can do it, but not everybody. So my point is, the fact that Kawhi Leonard right now is not playing and, not on the floor of the Clippers right now. They're still a decent team. They're still pretty damn good without him, but of course they would be awesome with him on the floor if all of them were healthy, I believe. And I believe that's going to happen. Here lately, we've been hearing reports. I've been reading reports a lot that he's been doing 5-on-5 drills again. He was doing 2-on-2s, 1-on-1 drills at first. Now he's back to doing 5-on-5s. I'm hearing that he's feeling pretty good. Ty Lue just released a statement not too long ago that, Kawhi, is progressing very well on all those things. And from what I'm hearing, he's progressing awesomely well. It's also, and like I said, he's been doing 5-on-5 drills now. He's getting right back to where he was in regards to, right before the preseason, right in the preseason where he was, before the preseason, he was doing 5-on-5. Then the preseason started. He played a few minutes here and there, but he's doing the same thing now, back to the 5-on-5s, getting a little physical in, and, getting more reps in and getting his rhythm going, because as I said before in my previous videos, the Clippers are definitely going to need what Kawhi Leonard brings to the table, because Kawhi is one of those type players that's just one of a kind. Even Paul George himself, his teammate, his co-star, says the same thing. He said it before. Kawhi is a one of a kind type player, a guy who can go on one end and lock up a superstar, but can give you an efficient 30 on the opposite end. Is very rare in the NBA. Very rare to do, because when you think about players like Kevin Durant, who praised him, Kevin Durant is so great in so many ways, but he can't defend the way Kawhi Leonard can. He can't control the side. He can't control that defensive side of the ball the way Kawhi Leonard can, and give you an efficient 30. Kevin Durant can give you an efficient 30 with decent defense on the opposite end, but Kawhi can give you an efficient 30 plus points with great defense on the opposite end, especially the defense that you need to, help you win ball games, help you win series, and help you win championships. This is the reason why Kawhi Leonard, starting out as a defensive guy, turning himself into an offensive player. This guy's won 2 championships in this league for a reason. And a lot of people, who don't like Kawhi Leonard, kind of make it seem like it's luck that he won those championships. And it's very, very disturbing to hear people say that, or hear people come off like that when you look on social media all over a lot of platforms, because Kawhi's put the hard work in like everybody else. If you want to be technical, he might have put the hard work in that nobody else in the league has put in, because if most other players you think of, top 5, top 10 players you think of, came in the league as scorers, then it was naturally easy for them to score. Kawhi Leonard didn't come in the league as a scorer. He couldn't score at all. He was averaging like 16 points a game with awesome defense. That's what got him drafted to the Spurs, his awesome defense. And Greg Popovich and the Spurs polished his game up as they were going, fine-tuned it up as they were going, and as he was getting more into, the prime of his career before he left the Spurs with that, bad situation they had. They seasoned his game up enough to where it was almost unstoppable. And at this point, his game really is unstoppable, because mid-range, he's a master as well, and he knows how to find his angles and spaces in certain spots on the floor to where he's so effective. You can't slow him. You can't make him move any faster. You can't speed Kawhi Leonard up, because he plays at his own pace, but he plays with so much effectiveness and just, thoughtful, pre-calculated, moves and stuff that he does on the floor that allows him to be effective no matter who he's playing against. That's what makes him a very unique and great player, along with his defense that can change the outcome of a game at the drop of a dime. So we understand how great Kawhi Leonard is. We all just want to see him out there, because we know how great he is, and we know how great, the NBA is even more, along with what Kevin Durant was saying before. It's great to see great players out there, and even other players. You hear other players say it. It's always good to see the great ones out there. I mean, for one thing, it makes the game better. It makes it more competitive. And then on top of that, one thing a lot of people don't speak on that makes the game so much more, enjoyable to see great players out there is the fact that the fans who pay money to go to see these games, that be there and want to see the greatest players play and, pay their hard-earned money, take their children and their family there to see these players play and sacrifice their time to be there. It's also those things that, that gets unnoticed as well. It's definitely, we definitely want to see great players out there because the ratings of the NBA, the ratings are always higher the greater the players out there on the floor. That's just the way it is. And I understand, Kawhi with the load management and all that stuff, but people also got to understand this too. The Clippers have been together 4 seasons and no dice. There's been no NBA championship. There hasn't even been a finals. And this is why I said bare minimum in my few previous videos, they have to bare minimum at least make the finals because this team right here is too talented not to even get there. If the Phoenix Suns can get to the finals a couple seasons ago, the Clippers definitely have more than enough talent to get to the finals, at least. They definitely do. So, this is their year to do that, and this is the reason why I said I could see them being overly precautious with Kawhi due to the fact that they need to find a way to get to this championship and win it. So, if load management was a problem with a lot of people, then, it could be a problem definitely this season because I could see them load managing Kawhi some games where people really might start shaking their head even more than what they've done in previous seasons because, like I said, Kawhi said it, Paul George said it, it's championship or bust. And really there's nothing else to look at. Yeah, Paul George is happy he was Western Conference Player of the Week and all this other type stuff, last week and stuff like that. But the Clippers as a team, their ultimate goal is to win a championship. And that's pretty much the bottom line. And that's it. There's nothing else to be said. All the individual accolades go out the window. It's all about winning. And, in order for them to do that, Kawhi Leonard has to be there. And for the fact that Kevin Durant not only acknowledge the greatness of Kawhi by saying he's an all-time great, but and he also acknowledged the fact that he wants to see Kawhi Leonard on the floor because he's one of the top players in the NBA when healthy, and he makes this game a lot more enjoyable playing against the top competition like that and being able to be on the same floor at the same time with players like KD and Kawhi and stuff like that. It just makes the game more enjoyable watching them and them playing against each other, as all of us would like to see as well, because honestly, I don't know, him and Kevin Durant in a 7-game series technically has never unfolded. Kevin Durant was with the Warriors, the Zaza Pachulia thing happened, and then, Kawhi beats the Warriors in the finals where Kevin Durant only plays 1 game for about 10 minutes in that game, and then his Achilles, pops once again, and, they never really had a chance to play each other like that. I think they played, Spurs and OKC back in the day, but Kawhi wasn't that great offensively as he is now, so it's like, of course, to see them two in the finals, if it ever happened this year or if it does happen this year, it would be great to see because we never really seen them two at their best play against each other in a 7-game series. So, I would like to see it. I would like to see if it actually happens, and that would be a great NBA Finals, Nets versus Clippers. But shout out to Kevin Durant for definitely, giving Kawhi that honorable mention, because he deserves it. Kawhi has been great for some years, and, people throw shade on him because of load management, but they don't understand how great of a player he really is when he steps on the floor. You don't win 2 championships by accident in this league, especially not in the prime of Kevin Durant, the prime of LeBron James, the prime of a Giannis and all these other players. You don't win 2 championships in this league by accident. So I think we need to start looking at Kawhi's greatness more, understanding it more, but also respecting it as well. So hopefully, with Kawhi Leonard, doing 5-on-5s now, hopefully he'll be back reinserted in the lineup soon, which a lot of people believe that he will. And we'll just kind of go from there and see how it all pans out for them. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. Please like, subscribe. Also hit the notification bell if you feel free to do so. And hey, till next time.